continued troublesome rule interpretations involves legal versus illegal pitching and pickoff techniques. In this section of the video, we will try to demonstrate and clearly identify various legal techniques and balk moves. Our intent is not for umpires to search for a reason to call a balk. The purpose is to help umpires recognize when a pitcher takes advantage of a base runner by feinting a pitching motion or by breaking a pitching rule. Some umpires go by the theory, hey, you fooled me, it must have been a balk. That technique might be an effective way to determine balks. We hope you'll find this video demonstration helpful. I'm going to demonstrate proper set position for a right-hand pitcher. First of all, the pitcher must take his sign from the rubber. His hands must be clearly apart. He can have his glove up here, or he can have his glove down here. But the pitching hand must be at the back or at the side. It can't be in front. This is a legal set position. Comes to a stop and then pitches. Okay? This will be an illegal set position. The pitcher has his glove up to the side, which is okay, up to his belly, but the pitching hand is now in front. He's screening the runner at first base off. Umpire should not allow this position because a pitcher could come up here and quick pitch, or he could break here. So the pitching hand must be at the side, at the back. Okay, now we're going to cover legal moves to first base. Now we all know that when a pitcher pitches, he must come to a stop or change direction with his hands. But when he picks off, he can break anywhere. He does not need to come to a stop. So the first technique I'm going to demonstrate is a pivot method. Pitcher is in a legal set position. He gets the sign from the rubber, comes stopped. Now he's going to pivot the pivot foot and step with the free foot and throw over. Okay, I'll demonstrate it going right through it. Gets the sign from the rubber, comes set, pivots, and throws over. The next move a pitcher can use is a jump turn. Now the jump turn is legal if you gain ground and step within the 45-degree line. Again, legal set position, comes to a set, jump turns, and throws. Notice the free foot, gain ground, step towards first. Okay, there's one other. It's not used very often by the pitcher, but it's a step back technique, and pitcher comes set. Before he breaks his hand, he has to step back. He's now an infielder. Now normally they'll just step back and look over, but some pitchers will step back, break, then throw over if the runner doesn't react. So that's a legal move. Many right-hand pitchers are using a slide step to be quick to the plate, so runners can't get a break on. This is a legal slide step. Pitcher comes set, he just steps out and throws. He doesn't lift the leg like a normal pitching motion. This would be a normal pitching motion. Comes set, lifts up, and throws. Okay? Let me demonstrate the legal slide step again. Comes set, just strides out and throws. Now this is an illegal slide step. And what the pitcher's going to do is not come to a stop. He's going to bounce right through the pitching motion with his hands. So what he's doing is quick pitching. Don't allow the pitcher to quick pitch. He must come to a stop if he's going to pitch. The following sequences will demonstrate various illegal pickoff moves to first base. First, the spin move. This is a balk move.
Balk! Runner, second base.
Okay, I'll demonstrate it again. Pitcher comes to a legal set position, but instead of stepping with the free foot and gaining ground towards first base, he just pivots on the free foot, turns and throws, spins on the free foot. Remember, the rule is you must step within the 45 and you must gain ground. So here's what it looks like again. Pitcher comes set.
Balk!
Okay.
Runner, second base.
This next move is a balk move. Pitcher comes set.
Balk!
Okay. Does a jump turn. Let me show you what I did again. Pitcher comes set. Instead of going over with his free foot, he takes his pivot foot, steps towards third, transfers his weight and throw. So it's a balk move off the jump turn. I'll show it one more time.
Balk!
Okay.
Runner second.
Now on this move, watch the back knee.
Balk! Runner second.
Now let me explain what happened in slow motion. The pitcher's coming to his set position, and before he makes any move with the free foot, he's deking the runner by moving his back leg, make it look like the start of a pitch, then he goes over. When a pitcher actually pivots and goes over, it's all one movement. That's legal. This is illegal. There's a hesitation in there. So that should be balked. Here's another balk move used by right-hand pitchers.
Balk! Runner second.
Okay, in slow motion, let me demonstrate what happened. This will have to be called by the plate umpire. The base umpire may not be able to see it. The pitcher comes to his normal set, but before he moves his free foot towards first base, he's going to break that front knee a little bit, like this, to make it look like a start of a pitching motion, and then come over. Okay, I'll do it one more time.
Balk! Runner second.
Here's another balk move by right-hand pitchers.
Balk! Runner, you're at second.
Okay, let's watch in slow motion what the pitcher did. Comes to a set position legally, but instead of directly going to first base, he's going to move his leg up, break his leg like a pitching motion, and come over. It's called the up and over move. I'll show it again.
Balk! Runner, you're at second.
We now have the umpires in a three-man crew position. The umpire's at first base. Here's another illegal move.
Balk!
All right.
Runner second.
Let me show you what I did. Right-hand pitcher comes set. He's going to feint a slide step. He's going to move his foot forward before he comes over. Okay? To the runner, it looks like the start of a slide step. So the pitcher's coming here, making a little movement forward, and then coming over. That should be balked. This next move is a balk move. If the pitcher comes in here, open shoulder, closes up, then comes back, that's a balk. Okay, let me demonstrate it one more time. Pitcher has an open shoulder, closes up.
Balk!
All right.
Runner second.
This time I'm going to demonstrate a legal move to first base. Pitcher comes set, he has an open shoulder. He can step and come over, no problem. Okay, he never closes up. But what he's doing, he's getting a good look at the runner. He's way open like this. Now he also can close up and pitch. That would be legal. Now we're going over legal moves by left-hand pitchers. Pitcher lifts up, throws over, steps within a 45-degree angle. Okay? You measure from the pivot foot to the plate, and he has to be within the 45. Again, a lot of pitchers use a lot of hand motion up and throw over. Okay? That's a legal move. Now, you remember, pitchers do not have to come to a stop to pick off. Have to come to a stop or change direction of the hands to pitch, but not to pick off. So the pitcher could do this, could stop right in here and come over with an early move. Or as he comes up, doesn't have to stop. He can come right over. Those are all legal moves. And notice I'm gaining ground towards first as well as stepping in within the 45. Now some pick-off moves that are illegal, that are balks, the pitcher lifts up, steps outside the 45, and comes over. Okay? Very obvious that he stepped outside. He's coming up here, way here, and coming over. Okay? Another legal move is coming set, stepping back, and throwing. Now make sure the foot steps back before the hands break. This would be a balk. That's balked. He's breaking his hands first, then moving back, so it's the start of a pitching motion. If he steps back first and breaks, that's fine. That's okay. Okay, now, also the pitcher cannot break the back plane of the rubber with his foot and go to first. He can go to second base or he can pitch by breaking the back plane, but he can't go to first. So this is a balk. Okay. Broke the plane and then came over. Let me show it again. Okay. All right. Now, new for this year, and the intent has always been here, but we're putting an emphasis on the pitcher that comes up and breaks the back plane with a free leg. So now he's turning way around like this, coming back, and then coming over. Now again, he can pitch this way. He can come up here and pitch, no problem. But he can't go to first. So let's show that again. Okay. If the back, the free knee breaks the back plane of the rubber, this is a balk. Okay. Okay, now some left-handers are so good with their balance, they can start the motion, stay in a balanced position, and stop the pitching arm motion. Hesitate in here, and then pitch. That's a balk. Once you break the hands have to be continuous. Pitching hand has to be continuous as you break here to pitch. You can't come to a stop. It looks something like this. Pitcher comes up, holds his balance, stops, then goes. That's a balk. Make him be continuous during his pitching motion. Here's a demonstration of a lefty coming to a double stop, trying to deceive the runner. Comes to a stop here, stops here, then comes over. Cannot double stop. Once he comes to one stop, if he stops here, he's got to be continue to pitch or continuous go to first. Don't let him stop, stop again, then come over. Double stop is a balk. Again, we have a left-hand pitcher who has real good balance in his leg lift, and what he's going to try to do is he comes up, he's going to hold his balance, he's going to lead with the front hip like he's pitching. He's coming this way, the lead arm action starts to the plate, and right at the end, he's able to come on over. Now, if you start a pitching motion, if the umpire judges that this action is a pitching motion, then he comes over, that's a balk. If the umpire feels that you started a pitching motion, he should balk it. Now we're going to various wind-up positions for right-hand pitchers. Same, of course, for left-hand pitchers. Pitcher can start with his hands together, like this. That's a legal position, okay? Pitcher can start with his hands at the side and take a full motion and pitch. That's legal. Also a legal position, glove up in front, hand at the side, and the pitcher puts his hand up, stays, hesitates, then takes his wind up and throw. That's legal. Now from this position, pitcher can step back and pick off, or he doesn't have to step back and pick off and go directly back. From this position, he can come up, stop, and pick off, but if he makes any movement with the body to start a motion, he cannot come to a stop. That would be a balk. Have to be careful about the runner at third base being deked out by the pitcher of starting his motion, come to a stop, stepping back, and going over. Balk that move there. Now we have the pitcher in a wind-up position, runner at third base. We're going through some balk moves. Pitcher's in his position, he's taking a sign, starts his motion, stops. That's a balk. Okay, let's do it again. The balk! All right, has to be continuous once he starts his motion. Okay, the runner's at third base again, our base is loaded. Pitcher's in a wind-up position. Comes to a stop, okay, made a false move with his pivot foot first, and then steps back. Okay, let's watch it again.
The ball!
Okay, have the pitcher in a wind-up position, legal position, breaks his hands,
The ball!
got a balk. Has to be continuous once he breaks his hands.
The ball!
Okay. If you watch closely what the pitcher did here, he started his motion by moving the free foot, then step back, which is a balk. Okay, we have the bases loaded, or runners on second, third, the pitcher in a wind-up position. He's going back to second base. There's different ways you can do it. The most common way, pitcher's in his wind-up position, he's going to step back with his pivot foot, then step with the free foot and throw. That's the safest because the umpire knows that he hasn't moved anything first. Again, it would look like this. Okay. All right, now it is legal if you don't use any body motion that you can come stead here and immediately just step back with a free foot and throw. But if the umpire thinks you've started a motion, you may get balked on it. So it's a little dangerous to use that technique. But again, here, you just pivot and throw back. All right? Now, this would be a balk. Watch what happens here. Okay. Pitcher started his motion first. Had some hand movement or foot movement. Some pitchers will put the heel up of their free foot, drop that down. That's the start of a motion too. That's a balk. So make sure there's no pitching motion when they're doing that. Again, this is legal. That was a step back first. We now have a runner at third base, right-hand pitcher. Umpire's a two-man crew in his two-man position, runner on third. Pitcher makes a legal pickoff move to third. Okay. Steps within the 45, doesn't break the plane. Again, legal move to third. Okay, balk move.
That's the ball! You score!
Now the pitcher this time stepped outside the 45-degree angle, stepped over here, his body's going too much to the plate, make the sidearm throw over. That's a balk. The other thing's tough to read in a two-man system. Right-hand pitcher coming up, breaking the back plane. As he lifts up, the foot breaks the back plane. That's tough on the base umpire and the plate umpire, so he's breaking, then coming over. That has to be balked. If you can see the foot break the back plane. It's just like a left-hand pitcher going to first base and breaking the plane. Okay? We have a runner on third base, and as a pitcher starts his windup, he's going to break for home like a steal. We're going to demonstrate what a pitcher can do and what he cannot do. Pitcher comes to his windup position, his hands together. As soon as he starts, runner speeds up, and the pitcher can pitch as long as he maintains the sequence of the throwing arm. That was a legal move. All the pitcher did was this. Once he saw him break, he just speeded up his motion and came to throw. He didn't break anything, okay? Didn't break the arm action. That's legal. Okay, this would be a balk. Okay. Broke his arm motion, shifted his feet. Do it again. Okay, going to show an illegal move this time.
It's a balk!
Okay. Broke contact with the rubber, broke his arm motion. Okay, there's another situation you want to be careful about. We think there's a squeeze play, the pitcher thinks a squeeze play coming, or a steal of home. He's going to give him a move, steps back, the runner breaks, and then he throws. Okay, that's legal because he stepped back first. There was no movement. Okay, runner, you break when I come set. Now, that would be legal. Now, of course, if the hitter swings at the ball, swings at the throw, or hits it, you have interference, batter's interference. Now, there's one situation we want to show here, special situation umpires want to be aware of. Runners on first and second, 2 out, 3-2 count on the batter. Now, the runner at second is going to naturally be stealing. The pitcher's going to lift up, kick up, go to third base, even though there's no runner there. But there's a chance for a possible play because the runner's stealing. Now, if the runner doesn't steal, of course, the pitcher is balked. Pitcher comes to a set position, lifts up. If the runner breaks, that's a legal move. If the runner doesn't break on the leg lift, you have a balk.
Let me ask you a couple of follow-up questions on that segment. One of the most common instances, perhaps that's confusing, is when a runner on third base and the pitcher has his hands together and kind of toes the rubber, fixes the ball, and then breaks his hands. Could you go over whether that's a balk or not?
Yeah, that should not be called a balk because the pitcher is not in position to take a sign. Now, once he gets in position to take a sign, he's here like this with his hands together, and he's taking a sign, he can't break. But as he's getting on the rubber, he could break his hands. Same thing to set position. You'll see the pitcher get up into the set position. He may have the ball in his glove, and as he's getting into the position to take his sign, his stance, he may remove it and put it back down. That's okay. That should not be balked. But once he gets in position to take a sign, he has to be continuous.
Okay. And could you amplify that last segment that you talked about with runners on first and second, full count, runners may be going, may not be going, and the pitcher goes directly over to third base. What's the differentiation between those situations?
Okay, first of all, the runner has to break, make a real attempt to steal the base as a pitcher lifts his leg. Okay, if the runner is squared off and just extending his lead on the leg lift, that would be a balk because he hasn't made a real commitment to steal. Now, umpires, you want to be aware that pitchers sometimes will lift up and see the runner not breaking, and they'll do a spin move, an open move back to second, which is a legal move also. But you can go over on a 3-2, 2-out situation, runners on first and second, or it could be bases loaded too. And of course you have a runner at third then, it's legal to throw over there anyway, but oftentimes you'll see a runner run right into a tag going from second to third with the bases loaded because the pitcher comes up and goes over. Just make sure the runner is breaking on the leg lift, not on the throw.
Got it. John, let's talk just a minute about what umpires might be able to do to improve their coverage on balks in two-man systems, three-man systems, four-man systems. Who watches for what, and balks are always tough to call. Do you have any tips or techniques for that?
Well, the short answer would be that everybody watches for everything, but since I don't do short answers real well, let me just expand on that for a second. Basically, the plate umpire is going to have to take the step. I know sometimes when I'm working at first base and the coach wants to yap a little bit about the guy and whether or not he's stepping within the 45 over to first base, he'll yap at me at first base, and I just tell him that's not my call, and the plate umpire is going to have to take the step. If you got multiple umpires, more than two, you got 3 or 4, then the second base umpire could help out with that, but that's going to be kind of a tough read from second base. Plate umpire also is going to be able to help out with the shoulder. Bill was talking in one part of the segment about the guy who closes up and then goes over. The plate umpire can get that, and again, the second base umpire could get that. First base umpire obviously going to have to worry about breaking the plane with the leg. Now, I know sometimes we have a problem in a two-man system because the pitcher's going to think, well, there's only 2 umpires out here, and boy, I can get away with murder today. And as a practical matter, he may well be able to. Base umpire in a situation like that, particularly with a left-handed pitcher, the only thing he can pretty well think is the leg of the pitcher is going to be on the front edge of the rubber. The rubber is 6 inches. We know now that no part of the leg can break the plane of the rubber of the back part of the plane. And so if he swings over obviously, I mean, if it obviously gets past this lead leg, then the base umpire in a two-man system can help out with that. But it's going to have to be pretty obvious, and I think everybody knows that. Final thing is, if you got like a four-man crew or even a three-man crew, I think sometimes as a third base umpire we tend to think we can take a day off. A lot of times that third base umpire is going to be in the best position to see things, so he needs to remember that this isn't completely a rocking chair.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks. Thanks, men. As we take another 60-second timeout, here is information on how to receive a rule interpretation and propose a rule change. We'll be right back in 60 seconds. Welcome back. Hopefully some of you have had a chance to funnel your questions to the regional evaluators at your site. We'll try to get to your questions shortly, but right now let's take a look at some of the troublesome rules section of our videotape.
During this section, we will demonstrate rules that have been troublesome in the past. In this first situation, a batter is attempting to cause a pitcher to balk. The situation we have here is bases loaded, a runner's in second and third, the pitcher's in the wind-up position. Now the hitter's going to try to cause him to balk. As the pitcher starts his motion, the hitter's going to bring his hand up like calling time, it's going to his eye or pretend to step out of the box, doing anything to cause the pitcher to balk. The umpire should not allow this. The umpire should just call time. We'll demonstrate it. Pitcher gets in his position, starts his wind-up. Now he's
no pitch!
Pitcher stopped because he saw him step out, and the umpire just called time. That's a correct decision. Here's a situation where batter's interference should not be called. The interference doesn't occur during a swing, it occurs during his backswing. Okay, so the umpire should call time here and start to play over. Let the batter get out, get reset, because it had no effect on his swing. He hadn't started to swing, the pitch hadn't been made. Even if the pitch has been made,